Hey guys, well, as spring gets here and the temps start warming up, the water warms up, some of the fish are going to start moving into the shallows a little bit. Depending what part of the country you're in, that might already be happening for you. So today that we come back, I've got this small, it's about like a 1.5. It's called a laser eye blank because it's got the special eye for it. And I thought we'd do this in kind of a different bluegill pattern. A bluegill pattern that's, well, got a lot of blue in it. Stick with me. Okay, first things first. Undercoat. Opaque white. Createx opaque white. Just a nice even coat. Well, I bet you heard me say that a few times, haven't you? Don't forget the nose. Alright, that's all it takes. Let me clean up. We'll get ready for our colors. Okay, we are ready to start with some colors. We're going to start with the belly. I'm going to go maybe not quite halfway up. I'm going to use Createx Opaque Yellow. Now, we're going to put a wrap on this, and maybe it's my imagination, maybe it's not, but it seems to me if I use opaque colors under the wrap, I don't have as much trouble with it wanting to, the wrap, scratching the paint and removing some of the paint. It seems like I've had more problems when I've used transparent colors underneath. Again, maybe it's just my imagination, but instead of a transparent yellow, I'm going to go with opaque. That's it. That's all there is to that. Let me clean up. I'm going to dry this good because we're going to put a wrap. I'm going to dry it every time I do it. Alright, now we're ready for the top. Now, unfortunately, the only real light blue color I have is a transparent, so there just isn't going to be any choice. We're going to use the transparent Createx Caribbean Blue. We'll put that on the top. Oop, didn't load the gun with enough, did I? Thought I put plenty in there. Now I've got enough probably for 3 lures. Alright, that's all we want for that. Now, we're going to dry this really well, and then we'll move on. Alright, our next step, we're going to put on our wrap. And for the wrap, I'm going to use this right here. Let me show it to you and take a minute to explain. This is a floral ribbon wrap. It says O-F-F-R-A-Y. I found this at Walmart, and it's where they have their fake flowers, that type of stuff. So that's where you'd find that. Now the key to this wrap is it has a wire runs down both sides of it. There's a wire in there, and it's got a bunch of glitter on it. This side, matter of fact, right here, let me show you real quick, if I can get it. There's the wire. I'm pulling the wire out of it right there. So it's got a wire, and it's on both sides so they can form it around the flowers. So what I've done is too small to normally fit most lures. You're going to put it on, it's not big enough. It doesn't cover the whole lure. So what I've done is I take two pieces, but as you can see, I cut one side. And the reason I do that is if you don't cut it, you're going to put them together like this, and you're going to have a big black stripe in the middle, or one color stripe. But by cutting one side off, when you match them up, you won't be able to tell you're using 2 pieces. So that's the way I do this one. So let's take here, boy, this lure, I'll tell you what, that's normal. But I'm just looking now, this lure is so small, I wonder if we can get by. We're gonna get by with one. Anything bigger than this, anything larger, hang on, let me take a second real quick here. Just because that's a small one, they got the drawer. Alright, here's an S-crank. If I do an S-crank, it isn't going to make it. An S-crank or something like that, let's see if I got something else around here. Here's this man's deeper diver. That'll never make it. So what you end up having to do on a situation like this, let me turn around the other way, makes it easier for me, is put on 1/2 and then bring up the other side. Don't overlap it too far, it'll get too thick. Right there in the edge, and you tie it down. That's the way you do it when you've got a really big lure, okay? So that's the way you can set this up and use this no matter what size lure, but you got to cut that one side off. So for our case today, I think we're going to get by with this. We're going to put the stripe up here. Should I put it by the head? No, we'll just put it by the tail, because I don't care that much on the head. It's usually the body is where I really want the wrap, and I don't get too concerned right up there on the nose. A lot of times I'm going to paint that head a different color anyway sometimes. So let's lock that in, pull this down as tight as I can. Let's see if we can get another one in here real quick. There we go. All right, there we go. We got it down with one. That made things a whole lot easier. A small lure like a 1.5, you could probably get by with one piece on a 1.5, especially if you paint your head a different color. All right? So, what do we do when we put on our wrap? Well, the very first thing we need to do is come back and paint it white. We want our colors to be right the next time around. So we're going to use some Createx opaque white, just like we used on the main body to start with. A little hard to get it underneath the wrap at the bottom, so you have to work a little extra. There we go. All right, let me clean this out, and we'll come back and start some colors again. First part we're going to do is the belly to cover that yellow. We're going to come back with Createx Transparent Sunrise Yellow. Kind of orange, but they call it sunrise yellow. As you can see, it is really more of a yellow than an orange. Just barely doing the belly. That's all we want there. All right. Now hang on just a second. Let me clean this out. We're going to try something. I don't know if this is going to show up when we're all said and done or not, but we're going to try it and see. What we're going to do, we're going to come back with Createx Transparent Orange. And we'll find out, when we're all said and done, we'll find out if this step was even worth the effort or not. But we're going to come right up on the very front end. Oh yeah, it'll show through. I was wondering if it would show much, but it will show. All right. Now, let me get everything cleaned up again. We'll go back with another color. Now we're looking to the back to cover that pale blue, and we're going to use pearl blue. Createx Pearlized Pearl Blue. Nice real dark blue. Shoot that head good so we're not covering it. That will definitely be a blue bluegill, no doubt about that. All right, we're going to dry this with a heat gun good before we start taking that wrap off. All right, let's see what we got, huh? Do we have a blue bluegill? Ooh, that came out really light. That came out a little lighter than I thought it would. But I don't know, that might work out. I was looking for something a little darker, personally. But I think that'll work out. We'll find out. Set of eyes. Top, go take it to the lake and you find out if it works or not. Alright guys, I have spent the last 2 days looking at this lure and telling myself it's too light. I wanted it to be darker than this. So 2 days later, I retaped the bill We haven't put a top coat or eyes in yet. Nothing's written in stone until you do that. So, here's what we're going to do. Got my mesh back out. We're going to wrap it again. You're never happy the first time. You can always do it over. Probably out of camera, but sorry about that. There we go. All right, rewrapped it. Now, let me get the tongue here. There we go. All right, now, first time around, we painted the dark blue was our pearl blue, the pearlized blue. So now here's what we're going to put on top. I have Createx transparent ultramarine blue. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference. I wanted the dark blue. It's going to be dark. That's what I want. But I thought it's a possibility by using the transparent paint, a little bit of that is still going to come through with the transparent. I don't know if it will or not. Basically, I just want it to be darker. So, here we go. Got some loaded. Different color blue, that's for sure. That's it. We don't go down the sides or anything like that. Let me get a heat gun. We're going to dry this out good. And then we'll take the cover back off again. All right. Now let's see if it got darker. There we go. That's a little better. Now we're a little darker. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a little bit darker. I'll go with that. Now I will ready to put eyes and a top coat, and we'll go from there. There we go, Bob. I got one long crankbait. I ain't seen it yet. There it is. Must be bigger than the other two. Yeah, it's bigger than the other two.
Now you got one fish.
Now I got a fish. I got a complete fish.
Man, I might have switched to crankbaits.
There we go, guys. That's my bluegill blue. I'll have that painted. It just came out last week. All right. It ain't very big, but it's a fish. Tell you what, guys, there is nothing like painting a lure, taking it out fishing, and catching a fish. Now, maybe we need to catch a little bit bigger fish, but hey, at least we're catching fish. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.